I am back at the Developer Week conference together with Tim Bourguignon. Hello, Tim.
Hi, David.
Tim, you have a podcast called Developer's Journey,
That's
and I think you never talked there about yourself yet.
Yes.
So I want to change that. I want to interview you about your developer's journey. You usually take like 30 to 45 minutes to interview people.
Yes,
I
I do.
usually do 5-minute videos, so we will do a very fast forward through your life. So,
I'll try to be short.
how did you get interested in software development?
How did I get? I don't. 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Computer games.
3.5.
Mac, very first Mac, Apple II. Doing it through university, trying to understand the world, physics and engineering. I was very interested in physics and engineering, and software seemed like a good playground. So that's how I got hooked into it.
And you grew up in France, and I think you also studied in France,
Yes, I
right?
did,
And
yes.
then you somehow came to Germany, here to Nuremberg.
Yes, I first did a stay in the US, working in Chicago for Siemens, and that's how I landed here in Germany, working for Siemens as well. But I'm not with Siemens anymore.
Yeah, you're now with a small consulting company called Mathema, and you're a chief learning officer there. So how do I become a chief learning officer if I want to?
This is a very good question. Basically, I've been very interested in mentoring my whole life, in helping people. And whatever I did as a developer, as a team lead, as a tech lead, I was always more focused on the people than on the technology. I was developing because that was the medium, that was what I was doing, producing something. But my focus, my inner focus was the people. And I kept on doing this, and I kept on pushing people, on helping them, on trying to extend their horizon and giving them more options, and it works. Surprisingly enough, when you take care of people, it works. They blossom. They find what they think is interesting, and they grow. And so I did this outside of my company, and I did this inside of the company, and at some point we realized it works in the company as well, and so why not do this full time? So we created this new role, a CLO, which is a role GE created a few years back, which is very different in a enterprise context. But what we define, or what we understand behind it, is kind of at the limit between HR and engineering, is helping people find their way and understand how the company can help them get there. So getting this, move people around and help them find what they would like to do, and then so it's all of coaching, and really find what the company could be doing for them and how to align both of them. This is what I do most of the time.
This sounds awesome. And you also transitioned from developer to mentoring, but also to agile coaching. So you don't develop software very much anymore, or not at all?
Not as much as I would like, yes.
Was it hard to do that transition, and why was it hard to do both, or why did you give up development?
I don't like to say that I gave up development, but that's actually true. I tried a long time to do both. I tried a long time to continue developing and keep my skills very sharp on development, and I realized I couldn't do both. And so I tried to do like a pendulum, going from one to the other. But it's really hard to go from one to the other. So right now I'm kind of pendulating between coaching and management, and not anymore between coaching and technology like I used to do. Mm-hmm. So I guess you have to navigate in between all these three if you want to be in the space. But if you want to have very good skills in one or two or three, it's just really hard. My days have 24 hours like yours, and I have 2 small children, and so it's a trade-off you have to find.
But I guess it works very well for you. Thank you for sharing those insights, and maybe you'll do one of your podcasts with yourself.
Maybe at some point.
So I want to do one more interview with Tim, a surprise interview he knows nothing about yet. So stay tuned, subscribe to this podcast or follow me on Twitter. I'm Ttanzer there, so you do not miss the next episode, and also follow Tim on Twitter.
I'm Timothep, Timothep.
So thank you, Tim.
Thank you, David.